Hello and welcome to Divine Horses and Humans. I'm Jason J. Divine, aka the Dyslexic Horse Guy. This is Divine, so you're watching the Divine playlist in the round pen, and let's just get it right from the word go. I don't just run mindless laps in the round pen, okay? So what I'm trying to do, like, call to action is, I want to know if you all think it's mumbo jumbo about horses picking up on feelings and emotions. If you do think it's mumbo jumbo, tell me why. If you don't think it's mumbo jumbo, tell me why. I think it's hugely important. Why would they use horses for therapy with people with PTSD, war veterans, people suffer anxiety and so much more? Why would there's something in it, isn't there? Because I believe horses teach us to be in the present moment. Totally believe it. If you're living in the future, you're living with anxiety. If you're living in the past, you're living with depression. And we have to be present with horses, because that's where horses are, in the present. So if we talk about the present, right, dyslexic time, it's 8:30 in the AM on the 12th of July 2025. Right, so we've got three things going on here. A, dyslexic, can't read the time good, struggle with numbers, don't know my months of year. Wearing a watch on my left wrist, I know it's a left hand, right? Get my left and right mixed up quite a lot, so I'm trying to balance that out. Thirdly, you have to work in horse time, okay? Right, you have to work in horse time, not human time, right? If you go about it like you've only got 5 minutes, it'll take you all day with horses. If you go about it like you've got all day, it'll take you 5 minutes, right? And we have to learn to relax. We have to learn to be in the present moment. And if you're going to go and work in the British equine industry, or you work in the horse industry, it's something you need to be really aware of, hugely aware of, right? Because it can run you into trouble with the horse. So if somebody says to you, that horse has got a problem, you're going to be completely on the back foot, a bit fearful, a bit anxious. And if you go in there with aggression, that horse is going to go away from you. If you go in there fearful, that horse is going to go away. You know, it's about leadership. Horses lead and follow, right? And to be a leader, we first have to learn how to follow ourselves, right? So it's like actions speak louder than words. Body language. Horses master the reading it, right? So call to action. Go Google what the sympathetic nervous system is. Go look for a guy called Dr. Stephen Peters, and you'll find out more about it, right? And you need to learn how it works in us, right? Horses learn through the sympathetic nervous system to increase their dendrites in their brain. And this is my dyslexic way of seeing things, right? It's my dyslexic way of thinking, and I want to share it with the world, okay? Because I believe there's truly a huge advantage to be had here if you have the ability to open your mind. But you have to have the ability to open your mind and see it through somebody else's eyes, i.e. mine, the dyslexic pair of eyes, i.e. the horses. If you can do that, you have empathy. So you've got the top quality of being a leader. That is the whole point of leadership, is be empathetic towards your team. So actions. Our actions can influence horses in a big way. How we turn up, what mood we turn up in, what state of mind we turn up in. So if I talk about can you move your butt around? So I'm just sort of simulating being another horse. I should have this in my left hand because I'm on the left side. Right, so there's body language. Actions speak louder than words, right? Because you can see it, it's a visible thing. So I'm going to come up here, use the flies. I'm going to change over to my right hand because I'm going onto the right side. So at the moment, I'm running the head collars with the knot to the right. So wherever she gets a fly, I'm going to help her out, because this is just me is being a horse with my tail. Ever seen horses like this on each other? Yeah, sort of cuddled into each other. So I'm going to try and help her out. So I think we've got quite a lot sort of happening here. She's getting used to the flag sort of touching her. She's getting used to that noise. She's getting used to that motion. But we're using it to squat flies. So there's something in everything when you look at it like this. So we're talking about emotions, right? So in previous content I have got a little bit emotional, and you'll probably find it, and you'll probably tell me, you know, I'm sort of saying, if you're a traditionalist and you don't like this, you need to jog on. And I get a little bit angry about it, and I get a little bit emotional about it, because I get pretty upset the way that they treat horses here in the British equine industry. I don't like it, because as far as I'm concerned, it's abuse. Right, so there you see, straight off the cuff, I made a mistake. No edit. I'm just going to deal with it. I make mistakes, because this is what else we need to learn as human beings, to allow horses to do, is to make a mistake. And if you keep doing the same thing with a horse, you're always going to get the same result. Right? And if you've got a problem up there in the saddle, right, and you have no foundation in a horse, where have you got left to go? You got lunging, you got long lining, but through my experiences, once again, you're using lots of different aids to sort of impair the horse. So your cavesson, your long line, your long lines, your saddle, everything's impairing the horse. You're not allowing the horse to use its brain and move as nature designed. So actions again over words, because I see lunging just makes horses stronger, and I don't see how they have. I worked in the injuries road 25,000 hours, 10 years, and I didn't find anybody that could actually have a conversation with a horse whilst lunging it. There's almost a disconnect the way it's taught in this country. You're taught to be predatory, but that's the way it is here in the British equine industry. They're still in the dark ages, and it's all about being the predator, the alpha, the boss. I'm a rocket scientist. And I've spent a lot of time studying this, observing it, remembering, comparing things, watching other things. And I learned, the most I learned in how to get things more together with horses was in the polo world. Yeah, and you go on about polo, but horse abuse goes on in every kind of equine industry. Polo, show jumping, dressage, I go on. You're going to find it somewhere. Yeah, you're going to find it in, like anything. You're going to find human people abusing humans. It's like, you know, British equine industry is renowned for bullies. Grooms being bullied in the workplace to the point that they won't step forward and actually tell anybody they're being bullied. And this is why I talk about what I talk about, because if you were a young individual working in the equine industry, and I worked in the equine industry and they actually mentally broke me in the end, there is a lot of bullies. And what happens with the less experience, no need to kick, strike, pull, stirrup, spurs and boot them. The less experienced grooms, the younger grooms, get quite upset. They don't really know how to deal with it because they're being told they're slow, they're this, they're that. Or you've got the other side of it, you've got the groom that's worked out how to do it as slow as possible. It's generally lazy, but it's really good with the boss, you know, so far up the boss's backside, they're almost brown themselves. And yeah, and there's this, I find in the British equine industry, there's this it crew and then there's the shit crew. And if you're on the shit crew, you just get it. And then that's when horses start going away from you. So, right, we've got no leg, we've got no stick, we've got no string, we've got no reins, we've got nothing. We've got a verbal command. So once again, I ask the question, why have you got to kick them? Why have you got to spur them? Why have you got to boot them? Why have you got to stripe them on the arse? Why have you got to pull them in the face? And this is what I don't understand. If I can get that done in here, why can't you get it done on their back? And I know I can get it done on their back. But see, this is the other part about it. See, not so much with the other gate, so we're gonna black or white it. Get on with it. So, black or white it. So, if you can have a conversation with a horse like this, you can get so much achieved. Right, because you're not impairing them in any way. There you go. Right, so I'm just going to go, right, that's it. Oh, that's what I wanted. She gave me what I was after, so I have to go, right, okay, then let's go off and do nothing. And if you go and watch Pelida playlist, the Pelida playlist from today, the 12th of July, you'll hear me talk about how one of the ways I sort of worked this out, because less is more. The slower you go, the faster it happens. As my South American friend would say, mañana, mañana, tomorrow, tomorrow. Relax, you have to relax, and you have to be who you are, comfortable in your own skin. So, I'll tell you two stories that are very similar in the content of the story, but they're very different. So, first story, I'm going to talk about my South American friend in polo. Never, ever, ever lost his temper. Never. Just laugh if anything. Just laugh, go, yeah, okay, yeah, whatever. And he'd just walk away. So, one of the things that he told me about in polo, and he was like, don't ever tell the Englishman, right, I'm telling you this, but there were certain individuals, right, on a polo field that were really good at what they were doing. So let's say they play a defensive role, okay, and he can't get through the defence, finding it really hard to get through the defence. So what he would do, he would go and pull a foul on that person, right? But he would do it in a very subtle way. Or he would say something to Z defence player, right? Because once Z polo player got upset and emotional and got all like going off and riding off to the ref and going and having an argument with the ref, right? My South American friend's like, right, done it. He's just taken that player out of the game because he's detached that player from their horse because they're getting angry and upset and the horse just goes away from them. And you could see it. You see, once he explained this to me, I was like, yeah, I can see exactly what he's talking about, right? So if something went wrong with him and someone would come and scream and shout at him, he'd go, see, see, and he'd smile at him. Bit like, if you remember Fawlty Towers, bit like Manuel, funny enough. Yeah, just like that. And they'd get so irate, these Englishmen, so irate. And then he'd walk off chuckling, ride off chuckling to himself, and the Englishman's horses left. He'd go and change horses, come back, and the horse would still be all over the place. And he was just getting more and more frustrated. And so I remembered this, right? That's 4, isn't it? And when I first ever saw this, I want you just to, right now you can, right, go on, get on with it, get on, there you go, there you stop. Right, but I want it back that way, I just want a nice trot. Now there you go, that's it, that's all you got to do, right? So she's just worked out, if I do that, that and that, I get to go and stand on the X, the sweet spot. He goes away, right? That's how simple it is. That was a prime example, right? But if I keep going over it and over it, it just gets bored of it, gets confused of it, and it's just like, I ain't doing this no more. So anyway, back to the story. So one of the first yards I ever went and worked on was an equine riding school stroke show jumping yard. The lady that ran it, she was a good lady. I really had a lot of time for her. She was the one who encouraged me to do this stuff because she was like, you have an equine eye, and I was like, what's that? But one of the things, I worked with her daughter that had a very alternative job, and she'd be up all night, and she used to come down early in the morning at about 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'd be there with her horse. I'd help her out with her horse and groom with her horse, and this was my first job. And yeah, we got some good results, right? But one of the things was she kept having like falling outs with this horse. Right, so we were left onto left. Can't do enough of this. Right onto right. So she's had this falling out with this horse, right? And I can hear her mum telling her, right, you should not ride him when you're in that frame of mind. You need to learn to laugh it off. And she's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, get off the horse. And if her mum told her to get off the horse, she got off the horse. And then her mum came to me one day and said to me, listen, right, she's got something in that horse. They've got a really good relationship, and he's a great horse. She paid £1 for him. Big horse, right? She was only like 5'2", but she needs to lose this attitude. She needs to lose this aggression, right? And I was like, well, has she always been like that? And she's like, no. She said it's this new job she's got. She's up all night. Then she comes down here and she wants to ride this, that and the other, and she's trying to activate like, and she's tired. That's what she gets like when she's tired. Not giving it to me. That wasn't very good, was it? Right, let's stop. Right, let's try it back that way. You know what we're looking for. So there's the trot. There. So we stop her. Right, now go back that way. There. Tilt the nose, but I'm going to give it to you. So she's like, no, it's this new job, this, that and the other, but you just need to talk to her. When she gets like that, you need to tell her, just laugh at him, right? Because you get all a bit, right? And it would be her getting her adrenaline, getting pent up and getting, and 9 times out of 10, what it wouldn't be between her and the horse, it would be between her and one of the girls that they were going out to ride with, or they were going in the show jumping ring, or it would always be an individual that she would be having a bit of an up and down. Go, come on, hurry up, sort it out, I'm running out of time. And she'd get all like, so there was a day when this happened, and he started being reactive towards her, and I was like, just laugh, and she started to actually laugh, right? Because I'd said to her on the floor about, you need to chill out a bit and just laugh at him, yeah? As soon as she started laughing, right, let go of the rein, like we talked, relax, slumped in the seat, started holding her belly, going, that horse just stopped. Stopped what he was doing. He was just starting, and lowered his head, started licking and chewing. So, and that's where I first saw it. There's something on the inside of a human that affects the inside of a horse, that comes out in the outside of the horse, if that makes sense. And the more I saw this with her, the more I was like, definitely something in this. So now I'm sort of second groom to her. She's got a number one groom that's been working with her since a deer dot, and we're going out and we're going show jumping. We're winning left, right and centre. And one of the things is that horse was never on its own. I always stayed with that horse, always had some kind of company, because horses are a pack animal. They have to have company. Right, so if we put that into the mix, and her general sort of, like, he'd be fine, off you go, I'll look after him, you know, make sure she'd had something to eat, something to drink, and just, right, let's not take it too serious. So, the less serious that she took it, the better we got, the more results we got, right? So if I go back to my polo playing friend, my South American friend, never took polo serious. And that's something he said to me, don't take it seriously, right? This is our job, right? And like, basically we just need to relax, and what will be, okay? And I'm like, no, I want to win. He's like, no, you need to lose that. You need to lose that. And I'm like, and I started to listen. I was like, okay, so what do we do? Just make sure the horses are all good. They're, you know, they're happy, they're content, they're all like fed, watered, and you know, that's the whole thing. Just make sure the horses are good. And I'm like, right, okay. And we won. So by doing this mentality that he talked about, and this whole groundwork thing that you're seeing now, right? And this all starts on a long, well, not a long line, a 14-foot line on the ground. It's called, this is a foundation. This is a formula foundation, right? We're teaching them to move without them being impaired. So there, she turns into fish, she lifts to turn into the fence. So that's what we want them to do in polo. So if I come back here, drive with me, right? Yeah. So I'm going to stop her that way, and then I'm going, no, that way. So we've got the trot. Yeah, we've got the canter. So the more you do this, and the more you get the connection going, right, the more that they give you back. And it's like, I've never experienced, that's a lie actually. The only time I have actually experienced is with dogs. The same thing, the same sort of thing happens with dogs. Not so much human beings, but that was the thing with when I sort of, that first girl, the show jumping girl I worked with, and I'd made this decision I wasn't going to leave this horse, right? Because you go to these show jumping events and I see all these horses like distressed, as I would say, because pawing the ground, chewing on things, whinnying out, and that was like, they're all stressed, and that's, you know, pawing the ground, stress, mouthing, cribbing, stress, right? But they're all on their own, and off, their owners are all off going, oh yes, have a cup of tea and a slice of cake, oh yes, we're the best, and you know, give it a good whack, go on, give it a good whack. And I'm like, there's something very wrong going on here, but nobody seems to see it. And I thought, oh, you're just being a soft. But I am quite soft. I don't like to see animals in distress. I don't like to see human beings in distress. Don't matter what you've done wrong. I just want to help. I just want to help people try and understand horses in my dyslexic way, in my dyslexic thinking. And my thinking says to me, right, if they're a herd-based animal, if I can create a herd by being a horse guy, what you would call like a horseman, right? They put the horse before the man, or a horsewoman, they put the horse before the woman. So they use horse values and emotions on the horse, not human values and emotions, i.e. men and women. And that's why I class myself as a horse guy, because I've never met a real horseman that comes from this country. In my book anyway. because they're using pain, leverage, intimidation, domination. And that's where I'm very confused with the word horsemanship. And I'm just trying to show the world there's a different way, and trying to start this conversation that's not talked about this emotional side of it, this thought process, this having a plan, prior preparation, and it's all real important with horses. And it's like one of the things, like, you know, like go, you know, show jumpers going and walking the course. It's really important, right? And you want to visualise you riding your horse around there. You want to visualise, and it's the same in polo. They have to have an idea when they pick up the ball. That's why they have team meetings, yeah, of how they're going to try and play the game. 9 times out of 10, it don't work like that. Most good plans go out the window anyway, and you always have to resort to plan B anyway, if there was a plan B. It was clean. That way. There you go. I don't care about the tip of the nose. See? That's emotions. Do you see that? I got aggressive and all like and real predatory. Did you see how she responded to me? And this is why I'm telling you, there's something in it, but nobody's talking about it. Well, they ain't talking about it here in the British equine industry because they just think I'm slightly mad. Stupid ideas from an idiot that can't even read and write. And I just want to start a conversation because I want to help, foremost, humans understand horses more, and for horses to get a better deal. Because if you rewind that and look at that reaction that she gave me, right? And that's when, because I changed my emotions, changed my thought process, and I got, get out of here, and got after her, she came for me. And make no ifs or buts about it, right? This kind of horse, this kind of horse is what the champions come out of, right? Mouthy, aggressive, dominant, brave, lead mare, champion stuff. Will challenge anything, rabbits, dogs, humans, will charge anything. But so many humans are scared of her because that's the point. You know, we got her as a problem horse. That's what we got her as, was a problem horse. We got her as a, couldn't touch a tail. So, you know, should be able to move your horse like this. Right, you couldn't even touch her tail. Right, just hold in there and she moves. Couldn't touch her tail. Couldn't get her to pick her feet up. Yeah, wrong one, never mind. Couldn't get her to pick her feet up. And see how she holds her foot up, look. She holds it up, right? She doesn't depend on me holding it up. She helps herself to help me. Right, you couldn't do any of that. So it's the whole thing, you know, she's a bit chubby and she's got bad manners, and I could sit here and go, oh, you know, well, if you don't like it, you go off. And that's me just being extroverted. Aggression. Or I'm going, oh, well, I'm sorry, you know, I'm just going to hide back here because, like, so I've gone introverted, okay? So I have to find a balance of being in this place where I can become extroverted or I can become introverted. And that's what you've got to find about yourself. Being in the present, not worrying about the future, what you may think of my little fat, bad-mannered friend here, yeah? Not me worrying about what I can't control with your comments, yeah? That's me living in the past, isn't it? Because of negative comments in the past. Whatever's going to be is going to be, but what I know right now is I've got something going here. And it's just hugely, hugely beneficial, all this. If you can't get this sort of stuff done around it all, there's an issue. And it's like, so let's just put some craziness into the whole idea, right? So I've got this formula foundation that I've got this crazy idea of like working on the ground with somebody. You've got good riding abilities and you've got some good horses, but you're prepared to think outside the box, you're prepared to go against the grain a bit, you're prepared to go against the traditional way. We could make great things happen. Why? Because I've already done it. But it took a dyslexic South American, non-English, English-speaking individual to understand it. But he understood horses. And he understood how horses worked. So, at that, I'm going to finish it up. Thanks for coming and checking us out. If you're still here, Superstar, thank you so much. But it's just about actions. Actions speak louder than words. And this is why I'm trying to show you what I'm about. Dyslexic thinking. Go against the grain, go against the norm. See different things. Correct way to catch a horse, for example. Put nose in there, tilt the nose around like that, and they should breathe the nose there. I had two young individuals that came here with their horse, and they were scared when I'd get them to do this with Divine. When I'd go, no, I want you down here. They were scared of it. They were scared that she was going to bite them, because they were doing everything straight onto horses, and they had started to get a horse that was head shy. So have to work from both sides. You work two sides of a horse, and you should end up with this. And like when you've got a horse that's like that, right, and you should do this every time you ride a horse, right? Horse is free in his spine, they're calm in their mind, right? So what we're doing by using the sympathetic nervous system, now she's just following the feel. Now look, she knows what's wanted. The sympathetic nervous system, we're increasing dendrites in her brain. So this is what you want. The freer they are in their spine, the freer they are in the mind. And it all starts with your sympathetic nervous system, and it all starts with the way you're thinking. Your thinking is hugely, 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 hugely important. So that one, thanks for checking us out. Go and check out some other content. You've done what you're going to do. If you're still here, like I said, completing us Superstar. Thank you so much. Just trying to get people to think outside the box, trying to get people to see the world through a different pair of eyes, i.e. mine, and foremost, the horses. Come at it from the horse's point of view and not a human point of view. They're a horse. That's all there ever be is a horse. We are a human being. Don't put human values and emotions onto horses. You don't get horses that have horse problems. You get a horse that has a problem with human beings or human environment. So that one, thanks for checking us out. We'll see you in the next episode.